This Sun-Gazette video coverage is proudly sponsored by Woodlands Bank.
Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Sports Talk here at the Williamsport Sun-Gazette. I'm John Gerardi, sports editor, alongside Henry Huber, as usual, our sports reporter. And obviously we got the Central sectionals coming up, and we're just going to kind of dive right into that. A lot of talented weights to look at, talented wrestlers to look at. You know, before we came in here, we were talking a little bit about the weights, and you know, one that's going to be interesting is at 215 pounds. You know, you got three guys ranked in the top 12 in that weight alone. Among them is Muncie's Austin Johnson, who got the States last year, did awesome there. You know, won a title. Just what do you? Obviously, he's kind of the favorite, but there's also other guys in that weight that can kind of make some things a little interesting.
No, I'm very interested to see what Ryan Gasella of South Williamsport and Cole Yonkin from Montoursville can do there. Now, last year I believe they combined for 3 matchups with Austin Johnson, and they were all like quick pins. So I'm kind of interested to see like if they display improvements in that matchup, and you know, it'd be really interesting if one of them happened to pull off an upset there.
Yeah. I was gonna say Yonkin's a really talented wrestler. He does a lot of things really good on the mat. So he's the one that I think can advance out of the Central sectional, even if he doesn't win the title. Yeah. I think he's a favorite probably to advance out of that.
Very, very much so. As well as like Ryan, I haven't. This will actually be my first time getting to see him in action this year. So, yeah. But he's had an excellent senior season from what I could gather. I want to say he has like 2 or 3 losses, and I mean 30+ wins.
Yeah, he's a heck of a wrestler.
Surpassed 100. Also, speaking of which, I think Cole Yonkin will surpass 100
nice.
At sectionals as well. He's at 96 right now.
Okay,
so
yeah,
it's worth keeping an eye on.
Definitely,
as well.
Yeah. And, you know, speaking of 100-win wrestlers at Loyalsock, Braden Vincenz, he won his 99th win on last week when Loyalsock wrestled Troy. So he's at 99. He just needs one to get 100. Yeah. That would give Loyalsock a pair of 100-win wrestlers with him and Kata Rodarmel, which would be a nice milestone for them.
100%.
Seeing as Loyalsock, you know, their roster, they only have 4 kids that wrestle kind of in bouts. Like, they had a ton of forfeits. They only had 4 contested matches. So to have 2 of those guys both have 100 wins, it would be a nice milestone. Loyalsock, Vincenz, I believe, is 160, and Rodarmel, one of the upper weights there. Those 2, I think, are going to be 2 wrestlers also to keep an eye on for Loyalsock, because both of them last year got to regionals, and both kind of motivated to get back, make another run, possibly get the States again. So those are 2 from Loyalsock that I think can make some noise at Centrals.
Yeah, no, and Vincenz, yeah. He's got a bit of a rough slate with 160 is one of the more stacked weight classes. You've got Connor Hare, which is, you know, that's like in of itself just the name. Sam Person is another one that would be a very interesting matchup, as well as Hayden Harvey from Montoursville. I think he'll be slated at 160 as well. I'm really Vincenz and Rodarmel are two guys I haven't seen in action either, so I'm going to be keeping an eye on them to see how they do.
Yeah, they're both really solid, and they also have Ethan French, who's a really solid wrestler. So they can make some noise. You know, going back to 160, like you said, you got, I mean, all those guys you listed. That's going to be a really tough, fun weight to watch.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, it'll be like you want to avoid Connor at all cost. I think it'll be a battle for second.
Yeah.
But yeah, very, very interested to see what comes out of that bracket.
It's sort of like the old Larry Bird when he was in the 3-point contest. I walked into the locker room and said, "Who's here? Who's playing for second?" That's kind of like Connor when he gets on the mat. Like, who's coming in second in this weight?
100%.
Let's kind of go to 127. You know, that's a weight that's a little bit up in the air. You know, you mentioned David Kennedy on Toursville is ranked 18th. Kayvon Shantz from South is 24th. Seth McClintock's there from Montgomery. Bloomsburg has I forget his name, a wrestler ranked 15th. So that's a lot of talent, and that's just 4 of the kids we named from that weight. So that's going to be, I think, an interesting weight as well.
Yeah, because I mean, there are 3 guys that are ranked in that category, but with Anthony Barra from Williamsport being the highest, but he's at 15. You've got David at 18, and then you've got Kayvon at 24, and then I would say Seth is perennial. Like, he's got 33 wins on the year.
Yeah.
So that's very much up in the air. Like, I don't have a projection on who's going to take that bracket. And
let's talk a little bit also about 285, the heavyweight matchups there. I guess what's kind of your expectations or takeaways from that weight? What do you think kind of going to be who are some guys to keep an eye on in that weight?
Yeah, so that one's like another one that's kind of up in the air. You've got Aiden Hidley for Central Colombia. He's the only ranked guy in that weight class at 22, number 22. But like guys like Landon Morehart and Owen Bird and out of Montoursville and South Williamsport, respectively, could make noise there. I've seen a lot of good things from Landon throughout this season. I think he can match up well and make a deep run there. And then I haven't seen Owen Bird yet, but he's got 20+ wins, and I think he can. I'm interested to see what he ends up bringing to the table.
Yeah. With the central section, you got obviously like Loyalsock's competing, Montoursville, South, Montgomery, Muncie, Hughesville. There's a lot of schools that have a lot, and that's just from our area. Obviously, you got like Bloomsburg and stuff like that. But just from our area, those schools have a lot of them have such deep rosters. Like Montoursville, for instance, they don't really have many weak spots in their lineup, so they're going to be putting out solid representatives at every weight. So it's going to be really interesting to see who the representatives are from our school going in the districts next week after this weekend's matchups.
Oh, 100%. They've got guys from 107 all the way to 285 that can make noise. I think they'd probably be the favorite to take the tournament. I think Montgomery could give them some issues there.
Yeah,
it'll be between those two as like the favorite overall teams.
And obviously Henry will be at the Central Sectional on Saturday, so a lot of fun stuff to watch there. We can kind of get into a little bit here. The South Sectional, I think Warrior Run has a lot of guys that are going to make some deep runs. You got the Milheims, you got Wernsberger, all 3 of them. Those 3 are all ranked and just outstanding wrestlers. But there's plenty of others, Shupp, Betts. You got a lot of guys that I think are going to make runs in the South Sectional for Warrior Run.
Yeah, absolutely. That's like that was the kind of the thing at state duels over the weekend. You'd have like the first 3 or 4 bouts where Warrior Run was at a disadvantage, like 107 through like 121.
Yeah.
But then you'd get to 127, and it was like, over and over, like great guys, and like they'd make runs just from 127 to like 215, even 285 with Stone Allison. So it's about as deep as it gets in terms of area teams.
Yeah. At Williamsport, we'll have that'll be the District 4-9 tournament. With Williamsport will be there, Jersey Shore will be there, and also the girls tournament, the district tournament's going to be there. I'll be covering that. That's going to be interesting. I'm excited to see some of the area girl wrestlers who's going to make some runs, because there's a lot of talented. Obviously this is the first year of varsity, but you already kind of had a lot of different girls kind of establish themselves as kind of wrestlers to watch in the area and make some runs. So that'll be fun to watch.
And what teams are going to be featured at that tournament?
I don't know the seedings yet, but I know like Williamsport should be there, Hughesville, Montgomery. I'm trying to think from our area who has I know those 3 will probably be there. South and Muncie should have some representatives, so it should be pretty good. But on the boys' side there, I'm interested to see. You saw Nyreek Burks and Colin Nazio wrestle with the top hat. They both, I think, are 2 in the boys' field in District 4-9 that I think they can make a bit of a run if they wrestle well throughout the Bay.
And you said Jersey Shore was going to be there as well.
Yeah, so you got Brock Weiss. Yep, yeah. And he's on a redemption. Kind of that redemption arc after last year, and he definitely, there's no doubt in my mind he wants to prove to make up for last year for not being able to compete in the postseason.
That's very much a run to keep track of.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how effectively he's able to run through that bracket.
Yeah. And then you also got Central Mountain in District 6. Zach Powell, Lock Haven sports editor, he'll be there for that one. So we got a lot of wrestling coverage this weekend. So you can give Zach Powell a follow on Twitter at @RealZachPowell if you want Central Mountain breakdown. Henry at @HenryHuber_ for Central results. And I'll be at Williamsport at John Gerardi I'm going to be covering both the boys and girls side. So that's going to be hectic, I'm sure at times, but fun. But yeah, so there's a lot of great wrestling this weekend. It's going to be fun. I think each tournament's going to be fun with a lot to watch.
Yeah, definitely follow along if you have interest in wrestling. It's going to be incredible.
Yeah, and then our Tuesday edition will be packed full of wrestling coverage and photos. So be sure to grab that. That'll end it here for us though. We'll be back next week breaking down the results from Centrals, from districts, and kind of leading into the follow up for next week. So till next week, then we'll see you then.
All right.